Perfect. Yeah, it's recording now. Okay, so let me introduce to you about women coding community. So this course is just volunteered, and everything that we are doing is um, out of whatever we have learned, what we do. So if you go to the next slide. So this is Women Coding Community, and these series are hosted by me and Sonika. And what we do at Women Coding Community, we build a safe environment for women and all the allies of women to thrive in tech. And we run different programs and workshops and events like this to foster a very supportive community. And you can just you can think of anything and you can ask if you would like to discuss some topics, create a group, get involved in mentorship. So there are a lot of things that we do within the community. For more information, you can scan this QR code, you can join our Slack channel, you can browse through our website. All the links are provided here. For code of conduct, for now, I've just added a link here and it's available on our website as well. So if you have any concerns, you can go through and there are links and email available and you can report there. But what we do is here, it's just, as I mentioned starting, it's on a volunteer basis. So if you think that what we are sharing has some or we can't come back to you straight away, just drop us a message. We will like to get back to you. And that's it. So this is a 6-week course for now. So this is an introductory AI learning series, and that will be followed by the advanced series in the new year. All these information is available for now on on the GitHub that I'll be sharing soon, where you can follow these sessions and the demos that we are going to showcase in these series. Next slide. Uh, so I'll introduce Sonika now. So this session will be driven by her. So I am Sonali. I am a senior software engineer at Tesco Technology. I'm a very curious engineer. I would say I became a curious engineer. I was not one. And I have most of my experience is in Java and cloud native architectures. I'm a WCC leader and speaker and an open source contributor as well. So there are a lot of things that I've learned recently, I would say, about AI, like most of us. So if you think that there are some things that are not right, or so just think that we are also learning, like all of you. So here's the floor for Sonika.
Hello, everyone. I am Sonika. I'm really excited to be here to start this journey with you all. So as you all know, this will be like a series of things. And we are doing a series of sessions because I learned AI on my own and I wanted to share that information with everyone, but there is lots of things. So we wanted to divide and share with you guys slowly so you can catch up what I've learned on my own. So I'm a lead engineer with VML at the moment, and I do like different roles. I'm an architect sometimes, and I'm also a data engineer, and I've been an advocate for technology in the company as well. And I'm a Google Cloud certified professional architect and machine learning engineer. And I've done lots of hackathons this year. That's where this all learning come from, all in AI, with Sonali Arzu, who is also here. So, and some of my colleagues in my company. So it's been a really exciting journey. And that's why I'm here sharing with you guys. And this series is about AI, learning AI and building agents at the end. That will be our end goal. And so there'll be some advanced sessions coming next year as well. So you have to stick with us to learn along with us. So that's my little introduction. And this is the journey, as I mentioned. So today we are talking about just the fundamentals, how to use LLM APIs and SDKs in your code, and what does it mean? Like how getting out of that chat box and doing hands-on coding on your own. So next session will be prompt engineering, designing good prompts to get good information from LLMs. Then we'll have introduction to RAG, which is your external, will be your external memory or databases or external data, which you can pass on to LLMs. Then we'll have agents, and we'll have multi-agent, which is what we are striving towards, and then some production deployment systems like evaluation, monitoring, and all how to do that. All right. So I'll be asking small questions along the way. So if you can all join on this, you can also give this session's first feedback to me on this Slido. And you can also ask offline question, anonymous questions, or anything about this session today on this Slido. And don't worry, this screen will come up again when the question will come up. Right. So this is the agenda today. So we are talking about AI, and it's everywhere. So how do we decide where to use it? So that is the first question. Should we use AI or not? How much to use it, where to use it, where it will be most effective. So that is the first question. So we'll answer that today. And then we'll look at, we are not talking about a lot of like machine learning stuff here, or, you know, what is AI and all that stuff, but we will talk a little bit about transformers. So you understand how prompts will give answers to you. So a little flow there. And then we'll have some provider comparison, like, so because we want to do hands-on, so which one is the best for us to start with? What are the some of the functionalities different providers give you in their APIs or SDKs? And then how to modify the responses. So what are the model parameters you can pass on to change the responses, or what to get exactly how you want it? And then some structure output, like how to get JSON back from an LLM. And then a little demo where I'll show you how to do it on your own. We have our GitHub setup, so you can have a look at that, fork it, work on your own in that repo. And then some next steps. All right, so the first question, when to use it? So anything which is binary, AI is a big no-no. So anything which can give you exact answers, AI you shouldn't be using, because there are workflows which are working fine right now in production or your own use cases. So don't use AI for that. So where do you use it then? So you use it for creative stuff. You use it for probable stuff where you don't want exact answer, but you want to, for example, memorization. So that works well. But price calculation, no way. You should go with traditional systems. Financial transaction, you should go with traditional systems. So you can do categorization, you can have code documentation, you can have, searching. Search is a big use case for AI. So it can search quickly in different type of multimodal systems, for example, text, images, videos, anywhere, it can search for you quickly enough. And the best one, which I like, and personally, I really recommend this. So even if you have a traditional system, having accessible interfaces built with a Gen AI is really popular these days. So you have a big complex dashboard for your website, or you just have a website with your resume on it, and suddenly you want to ask questions about it. You can have a little chatbot with the information of that website, and anybody can ask questions. So it's accessible. They can talk to it. So they can type on it in different languages. So I think that's a very good use case of Gen AI. I want to take a little pause here, and we'll have a quiz. And meanwhile, you can also ask a question if you want to in the chat board, in Google Meet chat. So I'm going to just give a minute here so people can join in. You will get this screen before every question. So don't worry if you don't join here. So I see 39 people. I would like at least 20 here before I move on. Come on, guys. If you're not traveling, I would like you to join this. All right. I think we can go to the question. And this question is about the topic we just discussed. That's great. So all of you got it right. So it was an easy one, anyways. So yes, you shouldn't be, as I mentioned, no financial transactions, no pricing, no calculations, no sorting. So yes, you can generate very good descriptions about an image using AI. All right. This is a bit of thinking about, what, I mean, we are not talking about what is AI, but if you think about it, GPT-4 has 1.8 trillion parameters because AI internally works in numbers. Every parameter, which is like 1.8 trillion, is a 32-bit float, which is 7.2 terabyte of just the model weights. Imagine working with this. You have to keep this in memory somehow, and you're asking questions to something which runs on this much memory, plus there'll be computation. And your laptop RAM, if it's good one, you'll have like 16 GB or 32 GB. Just imagine how much processing goes through every prompt, every question you're asking your AI. So you have to be very mindful about where you want to use it, especially in production systems. All right. So this is our first technical slide. This is transformer, very high level. And I love this slide, the colorful slide. So what happens when you ask questions to an AI? So you give a prompt that is going to be the input to the API or SDK. So what it does is it picks up the important words from there. For example, here it's analyze, product and image or defects, and then it finds those words. So it tokenizes it, it finds those words in its dictionary. Every model has its own dictionary. So GPT will have different than Gemini. So this analyze is like 2675th number in that dictionary. So it tokenizes everything. Imagine having spelling mistakes. That is a homework for you. Just get to know how spell mistakes work in a tokenizer. And then what it does is it converts every this word to an embedding, because the tokens are stored as embeddings in the model. So that's another process in this steps. And then it goes to a transformer. Imagine it as a black box. It will process your input and try to get to an output. So this says 96 layers here, and 96 is actually for GPT-4, and layers means the number of layers in the neural network. So it has 96 layers with 96 attention heads, means if you multiply that, your one prompt will be processed simultaneously by all those layers and attention heads. That's how you get to different answers for the same prompt. So for example, you will get some of those heads will be busy, some won't be, but it will be processing it simultaneously. You'll get like one input, 100 outputs. So that will be your output with different answers. Now you have post-processing parameters. Those are applied if you have provided, but otherwise there are some default which LLMs use, the models use. So you will be only choosing few from that or the best one from that. So that is your completion. So this is the whole flow. So it's quite different for different models, but these steps are mostly going to be same for the models for text. So so if you think about this transformer, so I have mentioned why LLMs forget. So if you, for example, if you're reading like a 500 pages book and somebody asks you what happened on page 10th, you will forget, right? So you remember what is happening at the end. So even if your context window in a model is huge, it will only remember stuff which either is at the start of the prompt or either at the end of the prompt. So middle ones sometimes get forgotten. That's why your LLM will forget you told it to use only give you JSON responses or only give you one paragraph of answer. So sometimes you have to repeat it. And there are like ways to get around it, which we will learn in RAG and other next sessions. All right. Any questions on this?
Feel free to drop in any questions you have in the chat. Take it. I think we have one. How does this help memory?
So this is just a transformer logic. It's not for you to do anything. So if you're talking about memory as in the model memory, when we code with it, that is going to be discussed later on. Okay, the next one is about recording. But if it's something else, Ellie, we can talk later about it as well, offline. All right, this is just a market reality check. I don't think I need to convince you to learn AI because you all are here. But Mistral AI went to 0 to 14 billion in like 18 months. It has never happened, even for any unicorn company in the history. So this is a huge, huge thing we are going through right now. And right now, as per Google, there are 18 billion requests per week to different models going on right now just in chatbots, like they have their chat system. So not even APIs or anything. So if you imagine the scale of this is like the fastest enterprise technology we have seen till now in our life. So yeah, it's quite interesting. All right, so before we start hands-on, I wanted to go through a little pricing techniques you need to know before choosing a model. So there are like so many. I have chosen some of the top ones. Personally, I love Gemini. So, and it's the cheapest. That's why we are doing a demo with Gemini today. If you see, there is ChatGPT. So you have GPT-5 right now. The cheapest one is a Nano. So you pay for $0.05 per million input. So if you think about it, so these are like tokens. So I told you your prompt is converted to a token. So basically, even if you give your whole code base or a whole book to it or different multiple books to it, you can still process it in under $1. So it's quite good. And then if you see the output, the pricing is different. So output means the response which you will get will be charged more than your input. So you have to always worry about how much data you're getting. So we will talk about some techniques where you restrict the size of your output so you're not charged as much, because sometimes you will get like pages and pages of output and they're charged for that. So you don't want that. And then you have context size. If you look here as well, Google has huge. So it's it's a 1 million context size, and OpenAI has 128K, and Anthropic is in the middle, so 200K. But they're like special features for each one, and you can not just look at the pricing. You also have to look at if you need other features. So there is semantic caching, which is hugely popular with OpenAI, and Google has caching which you can control on your own. OpenAI is one you can't. So they're like different features you can go with based on this table. So this is just a higher overview of all the models. And then you also have things like OpenAI is most stable one. Anthropic will have different features, like it has good quality than some of the OpenAI model, and also it's good for like personally I like it for coding as well. So you need to know your use cases, and some of the use cases work better with different models. There are benchmarking you can look at. So we talked about prompt caching. There's also batch processing in case you need it, which is we will discuss more in advanced topics. All right. Go to the next slide. So we have post-processing sampling techniques. So when you call a model, anybody can do that, right? So what do you need to know when you're calling a model in your code? So there are things where you're calling a model and you get different response every time you call it, and you don't want that, right? Like sometimes you want stable responses. If you're looking for creative, go with it. Like it's good. You don't have to do anything. Every time different response works well for some use cases. But sometimes you want like, you asking something, especially if it's grounded in reality, you want same response every time, similar one. So you have some post-processing parameters which you can use to get stable answers from your LLM. So one of them is like temperature, top key, and they're like advanced ones like frequency and presence penalties and things like that. So we'll discuss it in next slides. The important thing to know here is so except the penalties, everything happens after your model has given you response. So that's why they're called post-processing sampling techniques, because you have, for example, if you got 100 responses from your model, you apply these and it will like just sample some of the responses for you based on these. So let's look at the first one. So first one is temperature. You don't have to read a lot of it. So you just need to remember the range is from 0 to 2. You even don't have to remember it. You can search when you have to use it. You just need to know there is a temperature. Low will give you same response every time. Higher will give you creative responses if you want like, a different one every time. Most of the time, if you don't provide it, model set it to 0.7, which is called the default, basically very balanced. It's like a normal conversation, little creative, mostly stable, so you don't get like chaotic responses from that. So that's it. So another question we have coming up. So whoever already joined will you'll see on your screen. If you want to join now, you can join now. Any questions till now?
It was just some people wanted to know how to join. So you can simply scan this QR code and then you can join the Slido.
And there's a number as well. So you can just go to slido.com and you have 3604440.
Yeah, I think if you can post that number, Sonika, in the chat.
Yeah.
That
should have copied that joining thing somewhere. Okay. Okay. I see some people joined just now. I'm going to go to the question. This will be definitely about temperature. Okay, we got different responses. Why? All right, so the answer here is 0. So you are working with legal disclaimers. You don't want any creativity there. So if you are not providing it, it'll go as 0.7. But if you are providing it, go with 0. So you want exact on like, your bullet points in your contract. So yeah, creativity. All right, what is the next one? So this is top P. Most of the model has this as input. So top P is basically the top probability. So, very easy example for you to remember it. So the range here is 0 to 1. You can have like a 0.5 or something. So the easiest way to remember is that, if I say sky is dash and I say 95.95 top P, it's always going to be blue. Most of the time it's going to be blue. So basically my top 90%, 95% sampling is going to be blue from the responses, right? But if I say I am feeling dash today, so imagine the responses for that. There's going to be like huge number of responses, and if I say 95 for top P, it's still going to give me like 100 responses, different ones. So you need to choose it really based on the use case. You can decide how much you want it, but if you don't know, go with 90, 95, something like that. Yeah, you're right, in UK it's always gray. But yeah, I still like the blue. All right. So basically, so most of the time, go with 95 if you want creativity and you're not using temperature, or temperature is default. So you can, use both of them together and get good answers from your model. All right. Next one is top K. Top K is even easier to remember. So range from whatever, there is no, it's infinity range here. Basically, this is the number of results coming from your model. If I say I want top 1 of 5 responses, it'll give me the top 5. It's already sorted somehow, and most of the time it's sorted based on probability, your answers. So if you say you want top 5 answers, it will give you those. And sometime in some use cases, that's good. So for example, I made this AI agent, which gives me, based on my task, it gives me some people back based on their resume, and I wanted top 5 people, so I know who is busy, who's free, so I can assign the task to them. So if you think about it, it's like a fixed number. So you should either use top K or top P, never both together. So because otherwise they'll conflict and you will get random answers. So you don't want that. So you use one of those, whatever works best for you. So with this, I think we have covered the basic parameters for models. There are more, but those are like advanced ones. So if you know these 3, you can pretty much get stable responses or however you want to from your model. But let's go with few more. Okay, I see a question. Where do we set the temperature? Yeah, we'll talk about it when we see the code. Okay, so next one is stop sequences, and this is like I have like used it once. So in case like I wanted like 3 responses, I said, when you get to the 4th, just skip it. So it stopped processing my request after that. So, so in code, you can have certain delimiters and it will stop after that delimiter. You can have some other, use cases where you want to just stop it. So sometimes you say, okay, when the next human request comes in, you stop it. So something like that. So you have this available in most models as well. Then you have, so this is not actually advanced, but you have to keep in mind that whatever prompt you're passing or how much information you're passing in each prompt as a cache or a memory or whatever, it has size. So you have to remember that. And it's not just the input prompt size. This also include your system prompts and your output. So if your input is so big, there is nothing left for your output. You will get like small responses. So you have to be mindful of what you're passing to the model, because all the models have their own sizes. So this mentioned that the context window is input, output, and system and prompt. So sometimes you also have, some people pass the whole code base or the whole document or things like that as input in every prompt. and you need to know there's some caching techniques. So some things can be cached. So it only charges you once for that. So things like that can be done. So these management strategies you see here, we'll talk in advanced slides or advanced sessions. So yeah, basically these two are the same thing. And you're charged for the whole of the context window you're using. And also there is important thing to note here that if I say my token limit is like 200, that's what I said in my demo. So that means it will only use that much maximum. That is a maximum one. And if I set it to like 5,000, it will still use the minimum whatever the response size is. So if you're setting it to 5,000, doesn't mean it will always charge you for 5,000. It will only charge you for, if your response is like using 200 tokens, it will charge you for 200 tokens. So but sometimes you always getting small, or you only want small responses, set your token limit to that. So you're getting like expected responses size. As I said, like output, you're charged more for that. Okay. This one is the only one I mentioned, is not post-processing parameter. This is internally used in that black box. So there are different penalties. So I can give you an example. So we had this agent which was used for getting product descriptions. Now I'm passing it like like a toothpaste, okay? And on every line it's saying the name Colgate, 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 and we don't want that. So sometimes we say we set repetition penalties, so it's only used once, and then next line it will just use some reference, this, that, whatever. So it doesn't. So it makes like answer more human to read rather than repeating some of the stuff. So it doesn't have to be a word; it could be something else as well. So these are different parameters because so some models support one or two of these. So not all support all of these. So these are like just naming conventions, but the meaning is same. So your model will be penalized while it's processing your request in the transformer itself. Yeah. So there will be default set if you're not setting it in your model. This one is the last one, although it's a bit advanced. So if you, so we will more talk about this in advanced session. So this is like getting a particular type of response from your model. Generally, the response from a model is going to be a markdown most of the time. So if you want a JSON in response, so it's an API, so it should give you JSON in response. So what we do is we can set up, so in OpenAI, there is in the request, you can set the response format to JSON, XML, whatever you wanted. I think JSON is the mostly used these days. Gemini, you can set MIME type, which is even better because there are so many MIME types you can use. So that way you can set the response type. And there is important thing to know. So if you're setting your response type to certain format, not JSON, so you want like, certain things in a certain format. So temperature should be low, because if you set it to high, it becomes creative and it can't return you what you want. So yeah. So, and the last part is the function calling. So if you are aware of some of the scripting languages, any scripting language, you can do type checking. So there is type check. So you give exact response you want. So you'll say, I want name in string format, age in number, date in a date time format. So you give exact format as well, and your model will reply with the same format. So yeah, that's. Do you see this image? Quite funny one. So I just wanted to tell you, so these response formats are kind of new to the models. It doesn't used to be there. So when I started last year, I used to get weird responses. Even if you tell, this is the JSON I want, it will never give you the exact format. And then you're just getting parsing errors on top of that, or you're trying to make some response out of it. But now it's so good that you can use it in your code directly. All right. Another question. See it. We just talked about it, so I'm hoping everyone will get it right. All right. So you're asking a prompt with a JSON format and your temperature is 1.5. Why you're not getting the result? So it's because your temperature is too high, not because your JSON schema is wrong. Okay, Sangeeta, well done. This is like the fastest finger, even if you give like all the correct responses. So I went back. Cool. Okay, time for some hands-on. I'll show you our GitHub repo and I'll walk you through all the things we have in the repo. So let me go back to the code. So there are like a few things you need to do it on your own. So what is it? Put it in the chat. What do you think we need to call API or LLM on your own? Definitely programming. Tokens, yeah, but that's not like, that'll come later, right? What else? So you're in a coding community. You might have it already or know it already. IDEs, very good. We definitely need an IDE. But you can practice in a console as well. So if you have a console, that's fine. Cloud platform, yeah. OpenAI is not a cloud platform, but yeah, somewhere in cloud. Keyboard, yeah. Yeah. So you need a library, API. Okay, good. Why do APIs need JSON? Because when you are running through some workflows in your code, it's always useful to have a certain format of response. So it's easier to process and, save it in database or whatever you want to do with it. You can't do it with a markdown. Okay, I think you guys mostly covered it. You need an IDE, one thing. You need to know one programming language because I'm not teaching languages here. You can learn it on your own. We are covering this in Python, which is where like most of the AI coding is done these days. And also you need to know, although it's not APIs, I'm using SDKs, but you need to know how APIs works because most of the concepts are going to be same. Okay, so this is the README. If you go, it'll tell you, what's happening, what we're talking about here. It'll also give you a little information about how this GitHub is set up. So we just have one session at the moment, session 1, which I'll go through right now. And there are some things you can do on your own, and I'll show you one thing from there. So basically, we thought we'll build something around WCC. Why not? Because otherwise there will be other random use cases. So we have these 3 use cases. There is a bot, which will tell you about WCC, Women Coding Community. Then we have this career coach. So we help people with like interviews, their resumes. We have lead code. We have so many things going on in the community. So you can build this on your own. As I said, I've built the info board. So you can build this on your own. This README is quite detailed. It tells you everything you have to do to get to that. And also give you little code snippets as well. So you can just try on your own. And the last one is just a code buddy. It's a generic one. So if you have any other use case for our website or any app you want to build for us, and you haven't seen it yet, so go ahead, build it. So and you can also start with. So this is just to restrict some of the thinking. So if you have your own use case, go with that. So as we progress through the sessions, we'll add more and more feature to the same use case, or we can come up with new use cases for different features. So today we will have a look at how it is called. So first thing is, when you have Python, what you need to know is, I have this getting started guide here, and there is a Python environment setup. So let me open the preview. Let me actually share the link to this so you can do it on your own.
I think I've shared the GitHub repository.
Oh, you did that. Okay, nice.
I can share step by step.
Okay, cool. So this is a Python setup. If you don't have it, just download Python. This gives you all the setup for different OS, so Linux, Windows, whatever. Then what do you need next? So there's so many libraries. For this one, we are using few. So we are using like Gemini, and I'm using, so there's a chatbot, and I'm also passing some environment variables like my API key. So you will need to install all of that. So it's all here. So this one is the top level requirement. If you don't want to install everything, you can go to your own folder, and I've created one here as well. So that tells you what do you need for just this demo. So if you want to go through just one demo, so you can just install this. Now, how to do this is basically you just open in your IDE, open your console. If you go to this environment setup, I just did that, so I'll show you because this laptop is different than what I usually use. So installed Python, and then you need to set up this virtual library. So your all your libraries are installed in this. So you just do this, it'll set it up for you. For me, it's already done, so I'm skipping this step. And to install libraries, you have this. So you just do that, and it will install everything in that requirement.txt, which I mentioned as the library needed for the demo. Now, coming to the demo, I'll show you the code. So now the important thing to know here is we are calling an LLM. We need a key, right? So there is also a getting started guide for Gemini. It's almost same for almost all the other providers. Now, why I went with Gemini cheapest? You create one account, you get $300 free usage. So why not? So just if you're starting and you are trying on your own, go with Gemini. OpenAI, if you create a login, you need to, I think, pay $5 minimum to just start with, even if you're not using, because some tokens will be free, even if you're not using those calls, you still need to like pay them first. So not a good idea if you're just starting. So yeah, so you need to just go to AI Studio. I'll show you quickly. I think I opened it somewhere. Yeah, here it is. So you go here. It has this link for keys in the dashboard. I created one key here. You can create more for different purposes. So you can track which key charged you what. So you can say Gemini key here. The only thing is you need to create a project. And this project is created in your Google Cloud Console. As I said, $300 free, so you don't have to worry about it in the start, but you can set up billing alerts and things like that in your console. Even here, I think you can see your billing. So everything is tracked. Yeah, I can show you what's happening in mine. Very creative, my project. That's the name of my project. And I've been calling it for a few days. I use other accounts for different things. So yeah, so this is how you can see it. So if you see, this is the total API requests, right? So you can check it here. And for the errors as well. Okay, I don't know why. And then how much tokens input it use. So it will tell you that as well. And request per day. There's more, but this is all you need to know for now. So basically, you need that key. And where do you set it? So if you see in my code, so when you are doing the Python setup, it will tell you that you can copy this environment example file, okay? And we will uncomment other stuff when we use other providers. But for now, it's Gemini. You put your key here, and you copy this file as .in. So it's your key. And this will be loaded in your code when you're running it. Okay, that's all the background. Any questions till now before you see the code? Just put it in the chat. Okay. See some thumbs up. Good. Okay. So now Python. So you just run it as Python. So now this code, I haven't written it with hand, but I know what I'm doing here. So we can do AI SDLC some other time. But yes, you can do it on your own if you're using Cursor, you're using Windsurf, you're using Codex, Gemini CLI, whatever you're using. So use that. But I always come back to this. So if you're using any system, it's always a good idea to check their own documentation. Always go to the source for documentation, because AI gives you creative responses and you don't want to just go with that. So most of the time I give it a skeleton and it can populate it with my use case later on. So if you see there is this little link here, there will be a link in OpenAI as well, and Claude as well. So you go with these instructions to call, because I think they recently updated it. So yeah, this is how you call a Gemini model. So you just load it, create a client, and then you just call it with whichever model you want. And this is my prompt, and it gives you a response. How easy is that? So what is the difficult part is choosing the use case. So which we have done it for you. So just pick up one use case and start building. All right, let's go back to the demo. So now what do I do to call it? So I have given you like 4 things which are like I felt is most important. There are like 100 other things which might be, available for API or SDK calling. But this is what I have learned on my own, and I can build a full system using these commands. That's it. I don't need anything else. So that's what I'm telling you as basics. So if you see the first call, what it does. So I have set up a client already. So this code will just load my .env. I have set the model to Flashlight, cheaper than the Flash Pro. Okay, and then you are just configuring your Gen AI, which is this one from Generative AI from Google. And I'm just passing it the API key. So it is set once, and I can reuse this client whenever I want to. So what does the first basic call does? We just saw it in that Google documentation as well. So I already set the API key. Now I'm setting the model, and then I'm just giving it a question, and it will generate content for me. And now this is not JSON or anything, so you'll get a markdown. So let's see it. I changed to light so you can see it properly. Normally I work in dark. So, okay, let's see. Oops, I think I ran the wrong one. Okay. It's the demo. Okay. Come on. Oh yeah, here it is. So this is just a basic call. So what it does is, so now I haven't set anything. No temperature, no top K, no top P. I didn't even tell how long my response should be. I didn't give it token count or anything like that. Nothing. I just asked, what is WCC? Okay. So it doesn't know what is WCC. There might be so many other answers, right? So why do we need these response parameters, you say? So this is why. So it doesn't know WCC. There are so many organizations, but it got like women coding community. Okay, so it picks up, but it says, there are others and all that. So it doesn't know that what is WCC basically. Now if I actually skip this, it'll tell you different versions of, different full forms of WCC and explain it. So what do we want to do? How we get exact, so you set personality. So how do you set personality? You give it a system prompt. So for example, if you are a marketer and you're working in a certain domain, so I'll say, okay, I'm working for a fashion, or I'm a fashion designer. So you set the tone for your responses. So let me show you what my system prompt look like. Your very helpful, enthusiastic assistant for WCC. And you can give a little bit of info, what you want to cover in every response. So this is the personality. So you're friendly and supportive. That's what we are. We are inclusive, and we help each other genuinely. So this is all I've set here. And how to help. So there's some of the stuff. You can give it a longer prompt, shorter prompt. You can just give it a personality. You can just set the tone for the responses. You can all do it in your system prompt. Now, when you set a system prompt, it's sent on every request. You don't have to tell it to do it every time. So, and this is how you set it. So as a system instruction. So once you have set it in your model with personality, it knows how to answer the question. So let's run this one. If you have got access to GitHub and you have an IDE and you know Python, go ahead, run it with me and tell me if something is wrong or not working. Or we can do it in Slack later on, offline. Okay, so now I'm on step 2. I don't know why it's running Streamlit. I think
You're passing Streamlit command, I think.
Oh no, that's why. Okay. Yeah, I'm on a different screen, so I didn't see it properly. All right. Anyways, so we can see this here. So because I have set it a personality, so it know how to answer the question. Earlier it was random, so now it knows we are about mentorship, we are about networking, skill development, career guidance. So this is all we are about. So you can tell it how to respond in certain ways. So how to join. Now, remember, there are other ways, which we'll discuss later, like Google search, giving it your own documents as external systems, information systems, your own knowledge, RAGs, CAGs, and whatever. So we'll do it later. This is just a basic LLM call. So now how to join, because I gave it some information in the system prompt, it's expanding it to tell you exactly what you can do when you're joining or how to join it. And there was this random question about how I'm new to coding, how WCC can help me. So this is how you'll get the answer to that. Okay. Now, what is the third thing we should discuss? So now, I ask it questions, and the next one, it's a stateless call. Basically, if you ask something, next time it will forget about it. It won't remember your name or anything in different calls because, as I said, it's stateless. So how do you maintain state? Okay, so let's look at this code. So here we just we create conversation history. So it's nothing, we are just appending the responses, but sometimes you can also summarize the response and put it in the summary just to reduce the size. So this is how you do it. And then let's look at the last one because I see we're running out of time. I'll stay later for any questions if you want to. And the model parameters. So let's see, somebody asked how to set it earlier. And okay, So every LLM give you this. So you can set max tokens, you can set temperature, you can also set top P. If you see, it's already giving me this. So you can set top P, you can set top K. Don't do it together. The other things you can set, basically penalties and things like that. So yeah, so this is how you set it here. And let's look at the last one. Now, we promised you a chatbot. This is not a chatbot, but you keep on seeing it because I was giving the wrong call earlier. But this is, so if you're not like a front-end dev, you can easily create a Streamlit chatbot. So this is what I've created. Um, So it's exact same code, but given it to this front end. So now if you're building something, you want to share it with somebody, right? So this is a web app. Basically, you can test it easily in your local browser, and it can be deployed as a web app easily on any cloud. So you can share it with somebody else. So for example, I can ask it something. Okay. So it has some like suggested questions I gave it. So how to use this bot? Okay, let me ask it something. Funny way, right? So yeah, so this is the response. Now, if I keep the temperature to 07, it'll give me almost same response every time. But if I change it to like 2, this will give me different responses. Now we're out of time, so you do it on your own and let me know how it goes. Try changing this. If I reduce this, sometimes I get like half the response. So tell me how that goes if your number of tokens are low. And also top P. You can also add top K here and see how it goes for you. So that's it. And everything is on GitHub. So just check out and then you can ask question in the Slack. Okay, let me go back to the slides. I think we are just going to be okay. So the next slide is just I'm gonna skip it. So next steps, all these links and everything is also on GitHub. So it's mentioned in the README. So this is just question answer time. So let me know what you liked from today. Any questions, anyone? Sonali, you wanna go ahead and cover the next one?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Sonika, for an amazing session. It was so informative and it has so many elements to know. And I think all of us are learning about AI. And every time I have these sessions or I learn myself, I learn something new. So hopefully that was the case for you as well. And you enjoyed the session. So as Sonika mentioned, everything is on GitHub, and we'll continue to add all the resources and the sessions, upcoming sessions, details on the GitHub. If you have any questions, you can ask us on Slack. And now about the next session. So next session would be about prompt engineering. And I would be driving that. So I don't know if it'll be fun like Sonika, but I'll try my best. It's going to talk about some of the prompt engineering techniques and how you can improve your prompts, how you should think about prompts as well. And probably once you get to know about these techniques, maybe in your free time, you can try it out different patterns as well. That's it from us. If you have any questions, I think let's just a couple of questions if I can quickly see. You to learn and understand. Yes, I think as I said, there are quite a lot to absorb if you look at the GitHub repository. So I'm responding to the question, can you provide resources that help you to learn and understand? I think she has, as you can see on the screen, on the GitHub, there are links and repositories available where you can learn about different things. And do you get a certificate? Yes, that's a really good question because I wanted to cover around that. So we want you to learn and grow. So we are introducing something around badges and certification. So we'll talk about more in the next session as well. So, but if you want to browse through, you can browse through in GitHub repo as well. What we want is come, contribute, learn, create pull requests, create something on your own, use this repository to absorb this information. So as you will contribute or create, showcase your work, you will be given a participation badge and a certification at the end of the series. And for more information, you can go through this GitHub repository as well. And if you have any questions, drop us those questions on Slack and we will try to answer all of them.